Now, at the conclusion of last season, the CEO of AC Milan, Giorgio Furlani, came out and said explicitly that 2024-25 was a complete failure. But that was the end of the season, and it was time to move on and think about the new season. But there's one difference. One thing that he didn't mention. It wasn't just the end of the season. It was also the end of an experimental period that Milan went through where they tried a few different things, tried to be unconventional, tried to approach the game of football in Europe in a different manner. And I think it was also the end of that period of experimentation. And at this point in time, with the beginning of the new season and really the summer transfer window, is when the real changes were made. With the arrival of a 15-year veteran in a sporting director role with Lazio and Iglitare, with the return of a 6-time Serie A winning coach in Massimiliano Allegri. That brought back the stability that Milan needed and sort of moved away from the experimentation of Paulo Fonseca, Conceição, and some of the different things that the management was trying to do. Now, it's time to kick off the new season. We're 3 minutes away from things kicking off. As you guys can tell, I'm not where I usually am. I'm not in the studio. Let me open up the chat and see how you guys are doing. All right. Today's setup is going to be a little bit different. So I'm supposed to be at a cottage with my family, and everybody's gone to the lake. I couldn't because the game's going to kick off soon. And I thought, you know what? Let me just set things up here. Why, put out a message and say, hey, I won't be able to cover the opening game. Rather, let's just go live, see everybody, chat with you guys, because the entire summer window, I did not have a single live stream, and kick the new season off with a live stream where I can actually chat with you all. So in order to read your comments, it's going to be a little bit of a different setup today. Usually I can manage to get the comments right where I'm looking in the screen. But today I'm going to have to look down here, read some of the comments, so just be a little bit patient. But I'm looking at a few you guys putting out your predictions there. Dai ragazzi, Modrić with his first start. That's a big thing. There are a lot of people who are talking about that. Hey, Luka Modrić is not coming here to start games. He's going to play maybe 20, 30 minutes. Why does everybody think he's going to be a starter? It's the first game of the season and he's starting at this point in time. A lot of things were said about Santiago Giménez too. There was a couple articles that came out that Giménez actually has a breakdown of relationship with Max Allegri and has demanded a departure away from the club. That guy's starting too. So you don't always definitively know when you read something in these news articles that they're necessarily factual. But here we are. Santi Giménez in the starting lineup, a player who reportedly wants to leave. And Luka Modrić as well in the starting lineup, a player who's too old to start. But it's happening. So this is going to be an interesting season to really see what happens. Ollie's already saying, Kush, you're late. My apologies. Damien is not being as kind. He's saying late. You know what? The problem is, guys, that this is a very different setup for me. I was actually supposed to set up in my office back there, but there was some electricity issue. The camera wasn't working. I needed a stable stream for you guys. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just set up in the living room and the kitchen. So if you guys can't hear me, this is an issue that we've had in the past where the audio isn't working properly. Please let me know. But yeah. Damien says, don't be late like Tactical Manager TV. Well, you know what? Pulisic hat-trick incoming. Honestly, at this point in time, I wonder, I already talked about this in the previous video. You almost get the sense that Massimiliano Allegri is the kind of coach who doesn't necessarily want hat-tricks. He doesn't want a goal-scoring route. Once you score a couple of goals, I think he wants to sort of just sit back and hold on to that scoreline and not take too many chances. And I think John Terry, actually, in an interview with Rafael sitting in the stands, John Terry came out in an interview recently, maybe a few of you guys have seen, and he talked about how Jose Mourinho, when he used to take the lead, he used to take a 2-0 lead in a game, he would tell his players, close up shop. We don't need any more goals. We need to sit back. We need to hold on to the scoreline, work on your defense, make sure your defensive structures are good. But we don't need to go out for a 3, 4, 5 route. We don't need to make statement wins. It has to be more consistent, professional results. I don't know how many of you guys are a fan of systems like that. A lot of people, I believe, want it to be a route when you're up 2-0 and it's 60 minutes in. Why hold on for the last 30 minutes? Just go make it 3-4-0-2. But every manager has their own way of thinking. Let's see some of your comments. Judgment. Hold on. Sorry. Let me just make sure these comments are popping up. Yes, they are. Here we go. Haven't turned in a while. What are y'all thoughts on Allegri and the team so far? Judgmental Deity wants some answers. You guys let him know. Habis says hello, hello. AJ says glaze time. Damien says Pulisic, Pulisic, Pulisic. Mohammed asks Boniface signing on hold. Yeah, I heard there's supposed to be like a 2-part evaluation of the guy, and it's 2-part of his. What's going on with this kid? Oh, he's holding on to the ball. He gets his spot wrong. There's a 2-part medical that the player has to go through. I mean, he does have an injury history. Last season, he had missed almost half the season. So Boniface right now could partially be on hold in the sense that, they probably just want to finish up, make sure they get the tests right. There was some reports coming out saying that Milan would still be looking to sign Dusan Vlahovic. It doesn't eliminate the possibility of Vlahovic also joining. So that's going to be interesting. East Coast Exotic says, hi from Australia. Hello from Canada, my friend. There's some 1-0 for Jimenez. Anthony says, ciao, Kush. Great to see Serie A back. I feel bad for Boniface that his knee may affect his move to Milan. That's what I'm saying. We're going to have to wait to see, because I think that's one of the reasons why Milan actually brought about, that's why the club decided they're going to do a 2-part medical evaluation for him, because they want to be sure if we're going to be investing that much money into a player, it's not a player who's going to come in and immediately be injured, because I don't think it's about the loan fee. It's not about the 4 million that you're necessarily paying in the fee. It's about the fact that you won't have a striker up front. If Milan's not going to sign any more attackers, then Santi Jimenez would be the only one left. So I think they just want to make sure that that is not a risk there. So the game has kicked off now. Lux says, hi, bro. Hi, my friend. Habis says, whoa, what's this crown? I don't know what that means, my friend. Rishi says, no Serie A in India this year. Bro, honestly, Serie A is really... I mean, there isn't anything that I can say about Serie A that other people haven't already said. But the fact that they don't have... Right now, they don't have consistent streaming in a country that has 1 billion plus people. It's just... nothing that I can say that hasn't already been said, to be honest. Timothy says, I don't like the idea of the 1-goal project. Honestly, Timothy, after the season we had last year, I'm going to say that I just want wins. You win 1-0 some games you win 3-0. Just pick up the 3 points. All right, let's actually watch this game. Not get too caught up in the comments. So Gabi and Pavlovic lining up in the back with Fikayo Tomori. The 3-man back line. Modrić is playing significantly further back. Very deep, at least right now. Estupinian with a poor control of the ball. Not the right time to necessarily start criticizing players. I mean, I can't really criticize a player at this point in time. It's way too soon. But Estupinian is the one guy that I'm like, I hope this works. Because what I've seen till now hasn't, with Ricci, even in the friendlies, with the way Loftus-Cheek has played, just from a couple of games, you can get that sense that, you know what, yes, something good could happen from these guys. But Estupinian is the one that I'm like, okay, take your time, grow into the team, become better, but I really hope it hits that level. So it is Pulisic, the American-Mexican combo up top. Tex-Mex. I didn't know that Cremonese Milan is a local derby. Apparently it is. Not the most coveted one. Loki, I wanted to see, Habis says, Loki, I wanted to see Modrić and Ricci start together, honestly. Yeah. I mean, we got the entire season to go, so let's see how it goes. I think maybe they just don't want 2 players that are brand new to be playing together. Maybe one guy who's kind of played in the system already in Fofana. They want to keep them in the midfield. Because if you have two players right off the first game, there might be a cohesion issue, a little bit of limited cohesion between the two players, and you don't want that to cause issues. Oh, that was Salamakers. Modrić to Pavlovic. It's crazy to say Modrić while watching a Milan game. Christian, Pulisic, great ball to Alexis. Alexis, great run. Nice work from Alexis, you know. The little bit more central guy in Pulisic, makes that run. And Alexis, from the winger side, makes a much deeper run into the middle of the field, in between the sticks. Pulisic. Joe says, okay, let's just watch this first. Oh! Almost went in from Jimenez. Biggest difference between this year and last year is more balance to the team. 100%. I mean, this has been a problem for so many seasons now. It's not just, I don't think it's just last year. Even the year before that, once Tonali left, we lost so much of our balance. Or once Tonali was sold, we lost so much of our balance. And Milan has been chasing that. Finally, this year, they might actually have it. Ollie says, I'm predicting 5-0. Wow, okay, impressive. Some of you guys forgiving me for being late. I appreciate it. Kalu says, give back. Okay, let's watch this corner kick, but we do have to address this topic for sure. Who's stepping up? Estupinian steps up. Makes way for Modrić to take it. Luka. Oh, Gabia with the little glancing header. Alexis gets back. Salamakers on the left. Back to Fikayo. Sorry, that was Fofana. Moves it out to Modrić. Ruben's one of those players that's going to be so important for Milan, I think, this year. Just the way that Allegri wants to play, I think he'd be a very important piece. Estupinian. We need to see Estupinian get past a couple of players. We need a little bit of that. We need, when Donnarumma left, I'll come back to the Ultras topic. When Donnarumma left, we needed that first game that Mike played in the title-winning season against Sampdoria. You needed that first game to go in a manner where it makes you forget about your previous goalkeeper and know that you're good. Someone's got us from in between the sticks. And I think I kind of want to see that from Estupinian in terms of the attack. Because say what we want about Theo, attack-wise, he was always a threat. Whenever he had the ball at his feet and he was, past the halfway line, you always felt like something could happen. I want a little bit of taste of that from Estupinian. Where I feel like, oh, okay, we're good. We got our left winger, left back is good. Christian, Ruben, Luka with a little bit of space, passed it out to Fofana. Milan with 3 men in the box. Alexis with the ball. You see, while Milan is attacking, or at least when they're much more advanced, you can see that Pulisic, Jimenez, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all three enter the box. Pulisic, Modrić, and Fofana stay out, but the other three guys, they try to create that overload and attack with their two center backs sitting back, and Milan has three players in the trying to make things happen. AJ says, you are confusing defense first with attack first, then defend. Is this a riddle? You're confusing defense first with attack first, then defend. I'll let you clear that up a little bit more, my friend. Pavlovic. Back to Pavlovic. Sneaky Ninja says, wish the club the best. I am not a Milan fan. I'm a Barca fan, and I remember how they outplayed us in a Champions League final, but I wish Milan, the best historic club, deserve to return to its former glory. Man, honestly, you're right. They do, but you got to earn that. And Milan just haven't done enough to earn that. You have to earn going back to your former glory days. And that comes from everything. It comes from the players we have. That comes from the decisions that are made up top. That comes from everything. From the kind of coaching there is, what tactics. So, but it takes time too. I think the number one thing is time. AC Milan 80 Ronaldinho. What a title. What a name, my friend. It's been a while since I've been hopeful for a season. Are you hopeful this time, though? Is that what you're saying? That this time around you're a little bit more hopeful? Do you think Milan will win 4 trophies? Damien, what are you talking about? Oh, 3 trophies. Okay, so you're talking about Serie A, Coppa Italia, and Supercoppa. I don't know, man. It's very tough to say. Like, I don't want to be one of those guys that starts saying that Milan are favorites to win the Serie A title. Like, if you look at the odds online for who's going to win, it's still Napoli, then Inter. I think then it's Juventus and then Milan. So they're not, at least according to the bookies, considered one of the top favorite, one of the actually, 1 or 2. But we're going to have to go through a few games to see how this really goes. Pulisic. Look at how Cremonese are defending. The amount of bodies they have in their defensive line. It's like 6 players. This is where players of individual strength like Rafael Leao, even Christian Pulisic, can come in really handy. I would want to see maybe Modrić play a little bit more advanced. Right now he's playing further back, not significantly back, but Estupiñán manages to hold on to the ball. No, he doesn't, man. That's not good defense. I already said it to you guys. I need to see something from Estupiñán that gives me confidence. But that moment right there, that didn't really do a lot. At least in terms of giving me confidence. Hold on, I got to get my book here. All right. Let's make some notes. Estupiñán, come on, man. Gabbia with the clearance. Ruben to Santi. Santi with a bad pass to Christian. That's a header from Gabbia. Milan haven't looked, very fluid in either of the 2 areas. They haven't looked very fluid in attack or in defense. But then again, it's the first game of the season, so it's going to take them some time. Big difference playing, preseasons and all that. Playing against a Serie B side. Oh my God, Estupiñán lost the ball again. The ball here was lost by Estupiñán. So if anything comes out of this for Cremonese, that's on our left back. And it's these like misplaced passes that are the more frustrating ones, AC Milan Ronaldinho says top 4 for sure. Yeah, I mean, top 4. Yeah. If Milan doesn't make top 4 this season, it's a bigger disaster than last season was, in my opinion. This season, they have to make top 4 with the kind of squad and the kind of coach and what they have done. They've done a decent job, but it has to translate to something. Anthony Lafleur, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate it big time. When it comes to the curva situation, yes, there was someone who commented about the curva. I forgot to take that back up. When it comes to the curva, I think the club has to mend their bond with them, and the curva has to get back to being supporters group and weed out the bad apples. Yeah, I think it's way more complicated than just the fact that the ownership doesn't want the curva to be there because they chant against them. It is way more complicated. I mean, there are police inquiries going on against certain people. So this is not just I don't like, the ownership group, so I'm going to say it. This is way more complicated than that. And I think some of the people that have been asked not to show up anymore. There are active police investigations against them for physical whatever that has happened at the stadium. But at the same time, every time I've gone for a Milan game, the entire environment is set by the curva. Even watching this game right now, I don't even want to wear. I don't want to wear my headphones because there's no energy in the stadium, and that energy comes from the curva. Obviously, as Anthony says perfectly, they have to be a supporters group, not ones that are putting their fingers into the bureaucratic things and the organizational things that happen around the stadium with the parking and all that. You got to be what you're supposed to be, which is cheer the team on. And if it's moving away from that, that's an issue. But if the management or whoever is deciding that they are not going to be given what they're usually given, and part of it is because they were protesting against them, that's also wrong. The curva's job is to protest against anything good and to cheer on anything that's bad. That is what every supporter is supposed to do. So to ban them for that reason, I don't agree with, but to ban them for physical issues happening at the stadium and all the chaos that's sometimes created, that makes complete sense. Fofana didn't rip a shot. A lot of people would have thought he'd rip a shot there. Alexis with the ball. Santi. Space for Ficayo. Not space. Oh, Modrić. Luka with the shot. Estupinian. Not the best header. It's a former Milan man in Terraciano who stopped that one. That's a good attack brewing for them. Milan has to be very stable on the counter. Oh, nice. Lovely positioning from Gabbia. That's what we want. Just watch that defensive play again. That, I think last season, Milan would have messed it up. But this time around, the position that was held by Gabbia was one of intelligence. And he didn't have to do anything. No sliding tackles, no pushing players away. He just cut the passing lane. It was awesome. Corner kick for Milan. Milan went on the counter and got a little bit of something from it. Allegri's first game with Milan in 2010-11 was a 4-0 drubbing against Lecce. He won't hold back. I'm okay with that. Let's not. Luka cleared out by Cremonese. It's been 3 corner kicks for Milan there. Stupinian with space. Goes for the shot. Whoa. That was a good shot from Purvis. And that wasn't too bad. That was a good shot. Gotta be honest. The real Aaron says, you feel Boniface will be a benefit to the team as the expected goal scorer for us. Also, he passed both tests. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I've been with my family at the cottage. I'll be honest. I've been taking it easy. Stupinian on the charge. Purvis goes to Ruben. Ruben, nice control. Alexis out wide. Oh, Ruben. That was a great ball from Alexis to Loftus-Cheek. So I haven't been on top of everything that is happening over the last maybe 12 hours. Lisa asks, will the curva ever come back? Yes. They almost always do. They figure something out. And yeah, I think the amount of atmosphere that the curva creates at the stadium cannot be understated. And for that reason, I think they will come back. What do you think about Conrad? Zayden Azmi asks. About Conrad Harder. Honestly, I kind of talked about it in the last video. I might just be at the risk of repeating what I said there. I think Conrad Harder is one of those finds probably of Milan's scouting system. I think they see an upside to the player because if you really look at his numbers, right, playing with Sporting CP, he had I think 10, 11 goals last season. So he hasn't scored, and I mean throughout the entirety of the season. I think for the club itself, maybe he had 5 or 6 goals last year. So he's not one of those players that's lights out scoring goals 20 plus. I think he's one of those guys that the scouting system's found, and they believe that he has an upside to him. He can improve, and he plays the way that they want players to play. And they're willing to take a chance on the player at this point in time. Because, as I said, his numbers are not screaming anything special, but maybe his style of play, which I cannot claim to have watched, his style of play must have impressed them to the point that they're willing to spend 20 plus million on him. That's at least what the reports are suggesting. So we're going to wait to see what happens with Conrad Harder, but I think let's just wait for Boniface to become official first and then see how Milan's going to proceed. Sorry guys, there's a lot of comments here that I always tend to fall behind. I got to start skimming through it a little bit faster. I promise I will try. Someone says there's less people in the stand. Are you talking about today's game? Because I'm pretty sure today's game is sold out. Pretty sure. Oh, Jimenez. Finish it. Jimenez with his left foot. Opening goal from the man who was reportedly wanting to leave, but it's not. It's offside. Oh, he's 100% offside. Ollie says Alexis is going to be important for us. 100%. Yes. Alexis is going to be one of those players that has gotten so much experience with Bologna and Roma, and he's going to bring that back here, play as a wing back. He's mature now. He has experience now. The coach wants him now. These are all things that you want. And for that reason, I think you're right. He is going to be an important piece. Blograna Vibe says, when Boniface comes in, where will Pulisic play? Oh, that might drop to Santi. No, it doesn't. Where will Pulisic play? Tough to say. It is tough to say. Depends on the formation that Allegri chooses to go with. I think, what's his name? Pulisic is one of those players that just for the amount of effort that he puts in and the amount of assistance he provides on the defensive side in a system of Allegri, I think he should be starting regardless. It's just about how he actually finds that space for him. I really don't know, because in a 3-5-2, I guess he plays as a second striker with Boniface, but that puts Santi Jimenez completely out of question. And once Rafael Leao comes back from his injury, I think Leao starts over Pulisic because, he plays better as a left wing, or at least on the left side. So I really don't know. I'm actually genuinely curious to see what the coach does with him. I think he still can play, even if you're playing a 3-5-2, he can play as one of the midfielders, and then you sort of, when you hold possession, maybe you transition into a different system. At points, even in the match against Bari, Milan was switching from 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3. So maybe he fits in there as a right winger, but it is tough to say. Modrić through the middle. Modrić with space. Modrić couldn't get the ball off, but he's moving fast, man, for a 40-year-old. They're not being able to catch him. Alexis. Tomori, Alexis on the right. Look at that once again. 4 men in the box. Pulisic. Lovely layoff for Fofana, man. Fofana, you got to finish that. What a layoff from Pulisic for Fofana. Thoughts on Inter this season? It looks like they're entering another banter era. I don't know. They're second favorites to win the title by the bookies, so I wonder. I really don't know. I have my opinions, but it's interesting that, Pavlovic with a terrible ball. Oh, Mike with a great stop on his near post. This is the weak area for Mike so many times in the past last season. That near post, he'd always mess that up. Xerxes, I still remember the season before, capitalized on it. Last season, I think Moise Keane in a game capitalized on that. He was terrible defense from Pavlovic. Couldn't get rid of the ball. It was a much more favorable angle, you got to say, for Mike, but still was a great stop. Very good stop. The angle was a little bit favorable to Mike, to be honest. Didn't really have, It wasn't the worst save, worst need for a save, but still a good stop, quality stop. Modrić with the clearance. Cremonese have come up with some decent chances, but you got to say, Cremonese's chances have come so more because of Milan's mistakes. So, yeah, with Inter, I mean, they got Christian Kivu, who's going to be their coach. So, you go from Simone Inzaghi to a person who's only coached 13 matches in Serie A. You have a striker in Lautaro Martinez that, they got to be careful about how they do this. Look at that. That right wing of Milan wasn't very stable there. They're supposed to fall back into a 5-man back line, but Salamakers was completely caught way further up. And that's going to be the tough part, right? That's what we'd been talking about before too, that it's going to be tough for the wingers as to how they're going to, not the wingers, sorry, the fullbacks, as to how they're going to go back and forth in a system like this. The wing backs. And Alexis was caught back there. But yeah, with Inter, I mean, they have an aging squad. They have to, a lot of people were talking about De Winter, the Milan signing of De Winter, and some people were even criticizing that. But keep in mind, Inter was chasing him for a significant part of the Mercato. People just don't talk about it. I don't know why. Because if it was a player that Milan was chasing with Inter and Inter got him, then everybody would be saying, Milan's management didn't do a good job of actually signing the player. But De Winter is a player that they also wanted, and they were chasing him for a chunk of the Mercato, and Milan actually signed the player. So, they need to... Their squad is aging, and their coach is too young. So, I guess we're going to have to wait to see what happens with them, too. First few games are going to be a bit of an indication, but tough to say at this point. Sneaky Ninja says, love your content, man. Keep it up. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Estupinian dropping in much more centrally. Alexis with a great ball to Ruben. Completely unmarked inside the box. Someone says, my career mode. Blaugrana Vibe says, my career mode GOAT Estupinian struggling a bit. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit for sure. That's the funny part, is a lot of the times, not saying that about you, but some fans, they'll have a player that plays really well in FIFA, and they think that that's going to translate on, in real life as well. I think Noah Okafor was a prime piece of that. He runs so fast. He's so fast. It's like, where? I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't run fast, to be honest, but he was a better player in FIFA than he was for Milan on the field. Another Cremonese attack, and they're Pavlovic with a pretty, not the best clearance there. Lux says, hi, bro. Hi, Lux. How are you doing? Hikomortis. Hikikomortis. I don't know what that is, but how's the game so far? It's been okay. I think everybody's just slowly trying to figure it out. I think Milan's made more mistakes than Cremonese has necessarily earned the chances that they've gotten. It's been Milan's defense. There it is. There's the opening goal for Cremonese. That's how the game is going. And it's Baschirotto. He's scored against Milan before too. Now we're going to have to wait to see what happens. That was a great chance created by them. And it's, once again, it's from Milan's... The issue comes from Milan's wings. Let's see how this goes now. That was a great goal. Let's just see how Milan stood out there defensively. Oh, look at that. Pavlovic, I think this is a little bit, yeah, this is more on Pavlovic for sure. He was close to Baschirotto, and seeing Pavlovic's size and Baschirotto's run, it should have been Straina actually marking him. More so because Gabbia was already on another man. Gabbia was on number 90. Yeah, that's not good. That's just poor defending again. Let's see. It's early on in the game. I'm not that concerned, but Straina. Someone says Pavlovic has been a disaster. Yeah. Hasn't been good, that's for sure. Okay, let's see what the heck is happening here. Let's watch the game a little bit more. I'm a little bit more lost in your comments for now, but now I'm going to have to tune into this a little bit better. Look at that. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek goes with the press, leaves a lot of open space, and they can build a little bit of attack through that. Number 7 with the cross in. It's going to be hard for them to actually go through Milan's midfield, right? To actually pass through Milan's midfield is not going to be easy with a 5-man mid-line. But you launch a ball in over the top, and you have a player like Baschirotto who has the strength, and you have a defender in Pavlovic who's not fully handling that player. And this is where you find yourself. Milan was playing a much higher line. If you look at where Milan's defenders were and where Cremonese's attacking line was, they were playing significantly closer to Mike, while Cremonese's attackers were more towards the edge of the box. And once that cross came in that little open space, Baschirotto was able to get the header off, and Pavlovic wasn't able to close him down as fast. So, I mean, it's only half an hour, so let's not panic. I know a lot of people panic. Christian Pulisic with good control. Pulisic gets driven out a little bit outside the box, goes for a throw in. A lot is going to depend on Christian now. Christian to Pavlovic. Gabbia to Straina. Look at Straina. He looks a little nervous. Yeah, keep playing. Don't stop. Fofana goes out wide to Alexis. Alexis to Modrić. Modrić through the midfield to Fofana, but no one's there. Christian on the edge of the box. Pulisic, great ball to Ruben. Ruben. Dude, take a crack at it, man. From that angle, take a crack. We're down 1-0. Take a shot. Might force the goalkeeper into a period save. Might fall to one of your guys up top. Modrić. Lorenzo Maggiore says, I appreciate the super chat, first of all. Lorenzo, big time. Do we know what's the plan with our academy players? Ugh. Tough to say. I think because of what happened last season, with Milan finishing in 8th place and needing desperately to get back into the Champions League, the focus on the academy players isn't as much there right now. I think the focus a lot more is on finished products that are going to get the club back into top 4 and back to where they need to be. So I think the focus on that is a little less. Pavlovic with the cross in. Could that go to Santi? Almost fell to Santi, man. So I think the focus on academy players is more future-oriented, whereas Milan actually needs results this season. They need to get back into the top 4. So I think the plan, I guess we're going to have to wait to see. But in my mind, I don't think they're taking much chances on the youth players. Last season, Fonseca was trying to include Liberali in there, Bartesaghi in there, Camarda in there. This time around, they're like, no, we need proven players like Boniface, like Modrić, Ricci. We need complete products. And we need to get back into top 4 at a minimum. Ruben with the cross in. So, for now, I think send him out on loan and let him get experience. Ruben. Terrible man marking, D8 says. Yeah. Bruh. Yeah. Fair comment. See, there we go. Again, Estupinian just taking off the ball, man. This is not good. Not strong enough. Alexis, great run. Alexis, Ruben, take a shot. Let's see. He's gone down. He's asking for a penalty, I think. Actually, he's not really. Pavlovic to Yusuf. Poor ball to Pulisic. Cut off easily by Cremonese. There's something about Cremonese's intensity that is way better than Milan's right now. I think the goal has given them the confidence too. But the intensity of that team right now to get on the ball and not let Milan, dictate play and the tempo is impressive. Ruby says, same old Milan. Unfortunately, I get it. When somebody says same old Milan, it's true. But let's see. It's still a long time to go in the game. Let's not freak out right now. You just need one goal. I think in games like this is where I miss Leao. Oh my God. Again, how are you letting him get to the ball that easily? I do think the individual skill of a player like Leao can be really useful in games like this. But if Cremonese is going to, set up shop back, that's not going to be the easiest to break down, even for Rafa. Santi. See, no one's helping out Santi there. Ruben is drifting way, way further out. Tomori. Good defensive work from Fikayo. Fofana. Alexis. Lovely turn. Lovely touch. Stays on his feet too. Santi Jimenez passes it out to him. But then Alexis just rushes it too much. You could have just waited, man. You had space. You could have just dribbled the ball further up. Created something patiently. You can't be this panicked and helter-skelter. Just calm down a little bit. Just create. The real Aaron says, would be us to struggle with Serie B side. Well, they're in the Serie A technically, but need to get another center back ASAP, Anthony says. Yeah, I think that's part of the plan with Chao gone especially. I think I don't think it's just the performances that warrants a new center back. I think they actually, to fill in the players, the bodies they needed. Because if they're going to play a 3-man back line, they need a center back for sure. They need another center back for sure. K-Edit says, just came in, haven't watched the game. What's going on? It's not good, K-Edits. Not very good. There's another chance created now. Someone going to close him down? Yes. You know what the funny part is that Milan's backline, the whole point about this, what they have done with the new players, is that you're supposed to have players that are, not as, not as, you're supposed to be more stability when you're defending. The point of getting the midfielders that they got in is to create a little bit more stability. But when they're actually attacking, they're committing bodies up top. And when they're getting hit on the counter, they are finding themselves shorthanded in the back. which is kind of what happened all of last season. The problem last season was that Milan would commit too far in attack, and then they would have issues in the back, and we're kind of watching the same freaking thing again. So let's see. It's a new team, so let's see how it goes. But they cannot draw points in game one. That's bad. Ricci on the bench, waiting to see if he's going to get some play time. I think at this point in time, it's very clear he will. Just give me a chill day, man. Just give me a day where we can just relax and enjoy a good result. Why does everything have to be so hard with this team? Pavlovic. Look at when they attack, the way that Cremonese move. It's too soft on Salamakers. Come on, guys. Let's go now. You need a goal before halftime. You need a goal before halftime. There's no question about it. Just to, calm things down a little bit. Pulisic. Needs a partner to run with. Estupinian. Back to Pulisic. Man, Estupinian has got to cover, his passing has to be better than this. He's making his own teammates run way too much because he's passing improperly. Christian. Pavlovic with some space. Spread it out. Go out wide. Pavlovic into the box. Estupinian with the cross in. Who's that? Luka. Come on, man. He's saying the ball had gone over the line, but I really want to see if that actually happened. No, it didn't. What are you just calling that out for? Why don't you just let that sit to VAR? Why do you have to involve yourself in the game, man? It wasn't over the line. You can do all the actions you want. That didn't go over the line. It's an attacking chance created by Milan. Just let it fall to VAR if something happens. Well, I guess I'll put it out to you guys in the comments. Who's going to come and fix this problem now in the second half? Which player do you think is going to light that fire that they need? One would have said, Modrić would come on and maybe create something. Modrić has been playing this entire time. Who do you think can come in and actually light some fire under them and make them play better? Not even make them play better, make them score goals. Not just make them play better, make them score goals. Love the channel. Keep it going, brother. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Keep watching and I'll keep making. Ronaldinho says, when did the Loftus-Cheek hate die? Suddenly everyone's fine with him. He's still average in my opinion. I think maybe from effort. He did put in a lot of effort in the match against Spati in the preseason. I know preseason doesn't really mean much, but he did put in a lot of work. And I think at the end of the day, fans are always attracted to players that are going to give it their all for your team. You can say someone's skill set is good or bad, average or not, but I think his effort has made some fans at least me, say that, you know what, okay. And Allegri at the end of the day is the one who's come out and said explicitly that he thinks he's a key player. He's going to be one of the key players for him because of his size and his strength and the way that he can still move so freely in spite of his size and strength. So I guess we'll see. Shazib Hassan says, it's been a decade since I've seen Kush doing live stream. Please do it regularly. Yeah, I'm going to try. I have some other plans coming up, but it's too soon to talk about those. But yeah, I'm going to try to do at least one live stream maybe every 10 days. But let's wait things out for now. Luka. Modrić with a great ball to Stupinian. Christian, Pulisic in the box. Christian tried to pass it out to Loftus-Cheek. This is what we need. This is what we need 40 minutes of. Look at that through ball from Modrić. It was great, but Baskirota was really good at actually getting on top of that. Great defense from him. And then Christian tried to find Jimenez or Loftus-Cheek there. Couldn't. Christian steps up for the corner kick. Pulisic. Oh my God, who was that? Jimenez. How did that not go in? At least should have hit the target. Jimenez with a shot. Oh my God, that was just wide. There was almost no way he was stopping that. Dage says, I miss Pioli. Yeah, I mean, I don't miss him, but it was good times, gotta say. I was there for a Pioli match. I was there for Pioli's farewell, final match of the previous season. I missed those days, but I think that cycle was done, to be honest. Modrić, great ball through the middle to Alexis. Salamakers to Fofana. Estupinian. Dude, Estupinian's not really doing anything right now. I mean, yeah, to be fair, that was tough for him to control, but come on, dude, give me something. Modrić. Great ball to Alexis again. Salamakers to Pulisic. Pulisic to Fofana. He has space. Oh my God, no one was there to pick it up. A lot of groaning and frustration from the fans, you gotta say. Jimenez in, Estupinian out. Ricci in front, Fofana out. 3-4-2-1. Modrić, Pulisic under Jimenez. Hold on, let me read that again. Sorry, wait, I didn't click that. My bad. Modrić. I'll come back to that. Luka. Great siding tackle. Pavlovic has to get to the end of that. He does. Okay, Jimenez in. Jimenez with a J. Estupinian out. So Jimenez basically on the left flank. Fofana out. Ricci in. That's fair. 3-4-2-1. Modrić, Pulisic. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, stop. Get up, man. We're not stopping for you. Estupinian with open space. Purvis. Pavlovic! There it is. Made up for that mistake. I told you guys he has to score one goal before halftime. We got to score. And there it is. And now they're complaining about the fact that their player was down. But that doesn't matter, man. We're not going to stop the game just for you. Unless the referee stops, we don't stop. You have to go up. Why? Okay, go. Sorry, guys. I got family here. Everyone's chilling by the lake today. There's a big lake here. So I think when you're by the lake, you drink a bit, and then you got to go to the bathroom. You don't want to dirty the lake. So you make your way here. Hell yeah, Joe. I don't see a comment from you, my friend. I just see a donation. I appreciate it, though. Big time. Should it have been? Let's see in the lead up of the game if that actually is a foul. Oh, I'd been going after Stupinian, but he at least gave us something. Created that chance. What's that? Yeah, go. Do your thing. All right, there it is. There it is. See, that's what we needed from Pavlovic, man. Big time. Now, let's see if they're actually going to call that back in any sense, because right now we're still waiting around. Nope. That's a Milan goal. There we go. It does stand. Someone said another season with no Champions League. Come on, man. It's not even 45 minutes of the first game of the season. There's 38 to go. Let's chill out. Look what happened now. Here we go. You know what the funny part is? That the moment that they scored is is uh when my family walked in. The moment they scored is when Pavlovic scored. The moment they entered is when Pavlovic scored, and they just all got scared right at the entrance. They're all just like standing there laughing. There we go. Honestly, it has been a tough first half, but it's kind of par for the course. You know, I'll just wait for a few more of you guys to come into the chat. Join the live stream. Adrian Garcia Caraballo, thank you for your donation. I appreciate it big time, my friend. Massimo Oddo in the stands. Vide says, VL Day says, Kush, do you have thoughts on Rabiot rumors? Some people are saying a trade could happen involving Benacer. Yeah, suddenly Olympique Marseille doesn't want him. I thought he really wanted to stay at Marseille, but suddenly he's available and he might actually could leave. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but we all know that he's one of those players who's favored by them. So there comes my cousin. I'm going to wait for some of you guys to actually still come into the... Well, there it is, guys. At least we got something, right? I think as soon as they had taken that lead, I think that was the number one thing that I was mentioning, was that we have to get something out of the first half. It's going to make things a lot easier in the second half, because if in the second half you're once again chasing the game, it's going to be frustrating. But now, here we are. What do you guys need?
I'm just taking a name or something that we can play.
Oh, okay. Totti Brotta says, Forza Milan from Qatar. Damien says, Pulisic did fine, to be honest. Hank Hill says, Estupinian got lucky. Without that, he has been terrible. I mean, I don't want to say he got lucky. To be fair, he found himself in the right position. He did the right job. He made the right pass, made the right cross. So I wouldn't necessarily say he got lucky, but I do understand your point. He found himself in a very favorable position. But, the ball didn't just luckily bounce off of his foot and lead it to an assist. He actually made the right movement, and then he did cross the ball. So let's give him his due if he did help score a goal. Okay, let's see this. Okay, here we go. So there's about 300 of you guys here. Hold on. There's about 300 of you guys here. We got like only 61 likes. Come on, guys. Let's crank it over 100 at least. These things all help with the algorithm, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys can get that number going at least over 100. I mean, I should be demanding about 200. There's almost 300 of you guys here. So just hit the like button. It just does a little bit of something for the channel, and I really appreciate it when you guys do that. We will discuss the game now. How long are you guys going to be here for? I thought you were like coming here to pee. You're like just chilling here now. Get out. Okay, AJ says, just as Kush would put it in his title, Milan's first half against a Serie B promoted side is a masterpiece. AJ, come on, man. What's going on here? What's going on with you? Put down the haterade and pick up a little bit of Gatorade. All right. It's sad to know that there's no live streaming partner in India. Yeah, that is strange, my friend. That's crazy to me, because a lot of the times what happens with Serie A is that they do find someone, at least at the end. It's, a few days before the season's about to kick off. Their management style is such that they don't actually find somebody a month, 2 months before. They find somebody last minute, trying to auction out the rights. And if somebody offers you something before, they say, no, we think we can get more. And they try to create that, last minute hype of getting the deal going. I think they end up hurting themselves in the process, because people can actually bid less. And if they don't find a bid that they like, they just don't cast in that country. And the country of 1 billion people deserves a Serie A stream. I don't understand what they're doing with that, but it is what it is. let's just take Joe's comment before I wait for a few of you guys to come in, and then we'll actually chat about the game. I think there are going to be a couple of changes at halftime. If he makes changes, I have faith. It shows he sees the obvious need, unlike past coaches. Look, man, Allegri is, no matter what people say, I understand his style of play is not what a lot of people want anymore. And I get it, but the stability is what Milan has been looking for. And he's a coach who's won a bunch of titles. You don't win so many titles without having that adaptability, understanding that you have to make changes at the right time, and focusing on actually picking up the result. You know, a lot of the times, I guess last season, you could say Fonseca was a coach that was more focused on just his own rules. Like, I have these rules. This is how we should be playing. And he didn't focus as much on the fact that you could use a player like Theo Hernandez. Why do you have him on the bench? You could use a player like Rafael. I understand it wasn't a good season for most players. We finished in 8th, not just Leao or Theo, but the entire squad finished in 8th place. But they were too married to their ideas that, or at least Fonseca was, that no, Leao is not going to play, Okafor is going to play. And we saw what happened. Leao is still here, a new coach is building around him, and Okafor is gone. So he was clearly putting his money on the wrong guy. Then there are some coaches like Allegri who are actually going to step up and say, hey, you know what? That are going to step up and say, you know what? I'm going to go with what is going to get me the result. I don't care if I like this player. If I dislike this player, my focus is on getting the result. So that's where Joe's comment comes into play. I think there are going to be a couple of changes at halftime. If he makes changes, I have faith. It shows the obvious need, unlike past coaches. And at this point in time, I think with the scoreline the way that it is, it's probably going to be a little bit more talking to. I'm sure he's going to make some changes. I don't think, obviously, Modrić just cannot play 90 minutes. He's going to make some changes, but I think we might see a little bit of similar to what we already saw, which is they're just going to have to tighten it up. They can't make the mistakes that they did, right? If we look at it, I think there are a couple of pieces that specifically jump out to me about the first half. I think the number one piece that jumps out to me about the first half is the way that Estupiñán played, obviously. I think he has been weak at the end of the day. He lost possession a few too many times. There were too many attacking opportunities that they were able to create from the right flank because of the weakness that Estupiñán at times showed with being able to control the ball, with the kind of passes that he was making. It wasn't good. And the second player that made a mistake, especially in the lead up of their goal, was Pavlovic. How I think the mistake that Milan partly made on that goal was that they played a significantly higher line to what they needed to play. Because if you go watch the replay again, Milan is significantly, as I already said in the stream, but this is for people who are joining at halftime, they were significantly closer to Maignan, Milan's defensive line. Whereas Cremonese were a little bit further closer towards the edge of the box. And that little real estate that was available in the middle is the area that they attacked. And Baschirotto was way faster to get into that place to get the header out compared to how Pavlovic was able to close him down. I'm pretty sure, I haven't gone back and watched the video again, but if I remember right, Gabbia was already marking a player and he stayed on his man. It was Pavlovic who sort of found himself on an island, not really marking anybody and too far away from Baschirotto, or that space that he should have been taken care of. And that's the area that was a great cross, happened to be in that spot, and that's what they attacked. So if you really want to put some of what happened unfolded in the first half, you'd have to put it on Estupiñán, his defensive, his overall performance, and Pavlovic. But then comes the funniest part. Right before halftime, it's those two players linking up to score the goal. So Estupiñán picks up the assist, his first for the club, and Pavlovic scores the opening goal for Milan's season. So I think that Allegri is going to make a lot of changes. I don't think it's going to be a lot of changes. I think it's going to be some changes. But I think Milan just has to be more careful in the way that they're defending. The second thing that did jump out to me was that they're somewhat making similar mistakes to what they were making last season. The whole point around Fonseca, even Pioli the season before that, was that they were making too much of an attacking commitment, committing too many bodies up front, and the moment that they would get hit on the counter, they would find themselves, shorthanded in the back, and you wouldn't have enough time for players to make their way back. a few of Cremonese's attacks today have been either a mistake of Milan's backline, specifically Pavlovic, who's passed the ball right to them and allowed them to create an attack. That's what forced a save from Mike Mignon. But also another part has been that Milan has committed too many bodies up front. They hit him on transition, and they haven't been able to bring enough players back. That is the same problem we had last season. So that is something that Allegri is going to have to tighten up, is to make sure that the same mistakes that were made last season are not made again this year. But the first half was a little bit more reminiscent of what happened last year than some new Allegri system, at least from the backline perspective. Now, do I think he's going to make a lot of changes? I don't think he's going to make too many changes, at least right when the second half kicks off. Actually, maybe he will. Let me actually open up the lineup here. I think it's that time where we got to look at the lineup now. Hold the phone. Is the internet working? I actually don't know if I'm still live right now because something did possibly happen to my internet. But just give me a minute. Let me see if we're all looking good. Let me just pull these things up. The entire back end of my system shut down, so I don't know if we're still here or what's happening. Okay, there are some of you guys here. I think something may have happened. My apologies if something did happen. But let me just get this thing restarted again. And you guys let me know in the comments if... Oh, yeah. Okay. You guys are saying I'm still live. So I hope you guys heard everything that I said, or I got to repeat that. Just let me know if you guys have been hearing everything I've said, because I don't know when this thing went down. So let me fix that. Bring your comments back into the system, and we'll take it from there. Man, whenever I'm not in the studio, I'll be honest, it's always stressful. Like, I'm at the cottage right now, and when I'm in the cottage especially, it's so hard. Remember, you guys, I made a video in that little ATV done by the lake? That was here too. So we come here, every few weeks, every few days actually. Okay, we heard everything. I appreciate it, Emmanuel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I don't have to repeat any of that. But yeah, so those are the things that I was focusing on, because those were the notes that I was making. Most of the things that I've made critical notes about has been 10 minutes, Estupiñán loses the ball. 11 minutes, Estupiñán poor in attack. 14th minute is when Gabbia cuts a passing lane. And that's the one that I'm talking about, right? So there's some players that do show that reliability. And in that moment, Cremonese was creating a very difficult attack that a lot of the times in the past season would have resulted in a goal. We did see that Gabbia would, that if Milan was getting hit on the transition and it was maybe, let's say, a 3-on-4, they would find ways to weave past Milan's backline. And Gabbia just hold on to his position. He did not put in a sliding tackle. He did not put any type of a tackle where he had to push anybody off. Somebody mentioned that Jimenez should come on in the second half. You were right. Jimenez is coming on. Jimenez with a J. Gabbia cut that passing lane. So you got to be intelligent in how you're defending. And that intelligence is exactly what Pavlovic didn't show in that moment. He just wasn't where his man was, and he should have covered him there. So I think at this point in time, what I would say is that it is a new season. We gotta... I think our biggest frustration has been what happened last season. What happened last season has created an impatience amongst Milan fans, which is completely understandable. You're going to get frustrated with how last season went, and that's making you watch the first game and say, how the heck are we still down once again? Why are we down 1-0? We should be killing this. We have all these new players. We have a new coach. But to Allegri, it's still a new team. To Allegri, it's still a new environment, new players. To a lot of the players, it's new teammates. So I understand our frustration is leaking from the last season to this season, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the performance from last season is also going to leak into this season. Sometimes that happens. You go, someone else scores on you. Look at what happened in the Premier League today with Manchester City and Tottenham. How many people were saying that Tottenham's going to beat City 2-0 at the Etihad? We know where Rangers went. But Tottenham comes in after finishing 15th last season, comes and beats them. What I'm trying to say is that it's a new season. Let's let things just unfold, and not every time that something wrong happens, we just attach it to what happened last season. So let me go through some of your guys' comments, because there's a bunch of you guys here. There's about almost 300 of you guys here, so I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys have been very generous, very kind. And Adrian Garcia Carballo says, Pulisic, sorry, let me put this up. Pulisic, Pavlovic with the brace, 3-1. That's gutsy. So you think Pulisic is going to score a goal, Pavlovic is going to pick up a brace, and Milan's going to win this 3-1? I'll take it. It's going to be the best way to get him to feel confident as well, with Pavlovic, as to how the first half went. Joe says, Pulisic has covered the most ground of all Milan players, but is struggling to find the game. Shows he's trying to find the game, which is not good when your best player on the field is having to. You're right. Pulisic is the player for Milan that had covered the most ground. I think it was a Cremonese player who had, he was the only one who has actually run more today. Estupiñán is coming off and Jimenez is coming on. So I think it was Joe. It was someone who I think in the super chat did mention that that should be the change made. And you were right. Jimenez is coming on for Estupiñán. You know, that's the difference, I guess, with Allegri, right? He saw the overall performance of Estupiñán. He did not just watch that assist. He saw the overall performance and he wasn't giving enough. And maybe he wants to take Estupiñán on a high, right? Take him off the field on a high. Like, you have a bad performance and you get taken off, now your confidence goes down. But you have a bad performance, but then you pick up an assist and the coach takes you off. Now he can tell you, hey, you know what? It's okay. You're just getting started. You're going to learn. Great job on picking up that assist. Now Estupiñán's confidence also still kind of stays there, and the coach gets a better player because, let's be real, it wasn't a very good half from him. Addy says, where are you, bro? I am in a town outside of Toronto right now. We have a family cottage here. So, yes, I'm just in that cottage. We got a bunch. All my cousins are here. Everybody's by the lake hanging out. And I'm here doing this, hanging out with my family right here, chatting with you guys. Today, there's not going to be a 4 takeaways video. I should mention that. It's just going to be this live stream. That's it. Because obviously, I just want to hang out with my family. But I'll be back in the studio from Monday onwards. Thank you, Rishi. I appreciate it. It's the first game, guys. Chill out a little. Exactly. Let's be a little bit more level-headed. But I do understand the emotion of being frustrated because we know how last season went, so I kind of get it. But Milan has to pick up 3 points today. I think I want to be very careful in how I say this. I'm saying that we should be calm and let's allow things to happen. But they got to pick up 3 points here. I'm not going to be okay if they drop points today. You cannot play against Cremonese at the San Siro on the opening night and drop points. Not acceptable. So let us stay calm for as long as the game hasn't hit 90 minutes. Let's, after 90 minutes, express how we truly feel. But let's not seesaw in our emotions based on every little thing that's happening in the game. Modrić and Salamakers were the only good points. Yeah, and quite honestly, Modrić was actually, yeah, you're right. I do accept that. Modrić, Salamakers, Maignan made an important stop. Gabbia, I would say, was good too. So there were a few players that I think played their role well. Pulisic, as somebody said, was running around a lot. Couldn't really get anything done that much. Oh, Fikayo, that should have been a goal. Unmarked completely. Calabrese Enjoyer says, that's what I'm saying, Rishi. I think he agrees with Rishi that you gotta be calm. GG1AD said, yo, what's up, Kush? We have missed these live streams. Do you remember me, bro? GG1AD. Did you change your handle? I remember that picture on someone's page, but tell me your name, man. It's easier to remember names than GG1AD. Glesga Greg says, I think Estupiñán is just getting doubled up on, to be honest. He'll be fine. Okay, hold on. Let's watch this attack unfold first. Oof. For a player to push Loftus-Cheek off the ball is not easy. He did push him off the ball, but now he's been booked, so there's possibility that there was a foul. That's why I was surprised that somebody actually took Loftus-Cheek down. Oh, that's 100% foul. His elbow was in Loftus-Cheek's face. Gabia is phenomenal. We all can agree on that. Yeah. Sorry, I read it so slow, but you're right. You're right. Calabrese enjoyer says, I'm Pakistani Canadian. Dude, there we go. Canadians in the house. Pakistanis in the house. Let's go. Pavlovic. Tigabia. Here we go. Fikayo. Alexis. Go ball to Pulisic. Can Pulisic get on it? Oh, Jimenez. Santi. Bro, what kind of shot is that, my friend? What are you doing? Come on, Santi. That's not acceptable. First of all, you're left-footed. Why are you favoring to your right foot? Oh, okay, that was someone closing him down there. But nah, man, you should have switched to your left foot and actually hit that. Come on. Ren A says, is the cottage in the room with you now? What? I don't get that. Is the cottage in the room with you now? This is the cottage. I'm in the cottage. Sorry, buddy, I don't understand that. The only defender that looked good was Gabia. I think Tomori was also okay. There was a couple of times there was a sliding tackle or a sliding defensive interception from Tomori. I thought Tomori was okay too. I think Pavlovic was the weak point today. Paramount cannot stream the game in Boston. That's aggravating. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's true, I don't know, man. Like, the games should just be available to watch. Once there's two, why is it always with Serie A that there's all these issues? Guys, honestly, there's so many comments here. I don't think I can go through all of these. Okay, let me just watch the game for a bit. Fofana. Fofana with the shot from outside the box. Goes up into the stands. I can already picture the comments. You guys don't even have to type it. I can already read your minds. Don't worry. I'm with you. Here we go. Honestly, though, from that space, Fofana did have to. Oh my God, Pavlovic with a terrible header. What are you doing? What are you doing? Straina, calm down. You scored a goal. We're good. You made up for the mistake. Hold on to the ball. Pavlovic with fairly strange control there. Heads the ball behind him first, then heads the ball out for a throw-in for Cremonese. Use your feet. AJ says, Milan is one defensive injury away from finishing in relegation. Oh, buddy, you're going way too extreme, but I do understand your point. But I think that's why they need a center-back signing, right? That's why Modrić, great ball to Jimenez. These guys are going to enjoy playing with him. And they have to be ready for his creativity because he might just do random things out of when he might not expect it. Modrić with the ball. Modrić with a great pass to Tomori from outside of his foot. Excellent ball. Come on, Ruben. Go back to Modrić. Modrić with the ball to Jimenez. Great ball. Jimenez. Alexis. Luka! Oh, forced into a save. Great build-up from Luka. That would have truly been something else if Modrić had scored there. That was excellent passing. Just, orchestra being run by somebody. That was Modrić right now. Just dictating the entire sequence there. Corner kick for Milan. They need to score early in the second half, I would say. Modrić with the ball. And Pulisic. Oh, Gabia. Almost had that. Nice work from Christian, though. Great ball. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what you need. And we're getting that. Pavlovic. Pulisic drives us in. Pulisic held back, man. That's a foul. Fully held back. Fofana. Luka. Modrić to Tomori. No. To Alexis. Alexis with some space. Alexis stretches out. Alexis, great ball. Fofana. Oh my God. How's that not a goal? Great ball from Alexis. Phenomenal pass. What a great pass. You know, everybody would expect him to cross the ball in, go aerially. And the way that he cut that, almost cut that back to Fofana. Jimenez trying to rile up the troops, trying to get the fans going. This is what we need. That's the kind of intensity you need. And that talking to from Allegri, we all know that talking to from Allegri worked. Because the way that they have played in the first 8 minutes is very different from how they were playing all of the first half. Could have been the opening goal, goes out for a corner kick. Fly, get away. Hold on. Okay. Christian. Need that second goal. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Excellent sequence, though, from Milan. Gotta give him credit. AJ's comment, coming back to that. Milan is one defense injury away from finishing in relegation. I mean, it's not that extreme, but yeah, I do agree with you. They do need another center back, and they will sign a center back. I don't think that's really up for debate. I think everybody knows that they're going to sign a new center back. Great defensive work from Alexis. Excellent work. Modrić. Fofana making the run. Great. Modrić found him. Fofana, come on, man. Keep the ball down, bro. Keep it down. You keep kicking right to the bottom of the ball. Try to hit it in the middle. Try to hit the middle of the ball. What a great pass from Modrić to even find him. Excellent control from Fofana, too, to be fair. But come on, man. You got to keep it down. Stop kicking it right at the bottom. Fofana keeps on striking the south pole of the ball. Michael Andreozzi says, Estupinian had too many giveaways and made bad choices. Glad he got the assist, but not a good game. Bro, perfectly summed up. That's exactly why I was taken off. Someone's calling Pulisic soft. No, don't do that, man. Christian is he's one of the hearts of this team. Look at the amount of work the guy puts in. He was soft during his Chelsea days when he kept getting injured. I know people are having a field day with Conrad Harder's name. We need Harder. Harder. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. That's not just my take. Oh, GG1AD says, my name is Bilal, but yes, I changed the @. But from now on, it's GG Lad or Bilal, my bro. Bilal, nice to meet you, my friend. Now I will not forget you. There's no chance. Oh, Fofana with good defensive work there. Tried to get the ball off of him. Wasn't quite able to, but... Oh, Cremonese dribbles the ball out of touch. Tomori to Gabbia. Robot Chill says, am I the only one who thinks tail sail was a good thing? No, Robot, chill. You're not alone. Theo Hernandez is made me love Milan even more after a long time of the Banter era. But he needed to go. But I just hope Estupinian works out. That's the thing. I wanted Pioli to be gone too, but Fonseca wasn't my pick. I wanted Theo to pretty much move on, go to the next chapter of his career, but I need Estupinian to work now. So, no, you're not alone. Christian. Okay, now look at how many bodies Milan has committed up front. Now I want to see how they actually shape up in the back. Okay, Cremonese didn't really hit them on the counter. They sort of slowed it down, so Milan was able to get back into shape. But I'm more curious to see how they're going to handle the transitions, because that's where they struggled last season so much, and the season before that too. Alexis. Tomori. Chooses to go back. Tomori's getting frustrated with somebody on the team. He's demanding they move a little bit differently, and Gabbia gives him the ball back again. So this time around, he passes out to Alexis on the right. And even again, Tomori's not happy with someone on the team. He's not happy with how someone's moving. I think it might be Loftus-Cheek. Modrić now picks the ball up from the back. Modrić playing... Modrić expected Robin Loftus-Cheek to carry on his run. He didn't. And Bondo with the defense. I think... Yeah. See, that's the quick thinking you're going to have to be on your toes with a player like Modrić. Right? Because I think Modrić at that point in time thought that Loftus-Cheek is going to keep his run going, and he just stopped. The moment he went flat-footed is when Modrić actually passed the ball. Had he maintained his run, maybe he would have been able to get on the end of it. Because let's not forget, Loftus-Cheek has the strength to be able to get on the ball, even if somebody's marking him. So I just don't want Milan to let go of that intensity. I think they did play with a lot of intensity for the first maybe 8 to 10 minutes, but in the last 5 minutes, they have sort of calmed down a little bit. And obviously, they're human beings, so they can't run at the same click the whole time, but I just hope that they maintain that push to find that goal. Jimenez loses the ball at a bad spot to Baschirotto. Great cross in. Oh, what a ball. What a goal. Same defensive woes. Same left flank. First goal from the right. Second goal also from the right. That's an incredible goal. First, Santi loses the ball off of Baschirotto. Then Alexis overcommits, maybe a bit. Oh man, who's marking that guy? How are you completely unmarked inside the box? Who's I'll have to see the video again to see who's marking that guy, but I mean, that's just an incredible goal. But maybe Fofana should be doing a little bit better. Now they need something right away. They need 2 goals. A draw against Cremonese is unacceptable. Doesn't matter. New team, new coach, irrelevant. Unacceptable. It's excellent. It's an excellent goal. You can't question that. There's a lot of things that broke down there with Santi losing the ball where he did. Pulisic, Christian, shoot it, buddy. Christian, my God, almost scored a phenomenal goal. Modrić he's pulling the strings here. It's those wing crosses, man. Again, killing Milan. Those wing crosses, just get them. Chukwueze coming on. Who's he going to replace? I think for the right flank, it's going to be... No, I don't think he's going to take Alexis off. Unless he switches to a 4-3-3. I don't know who he's going to put Chukwueze for. Because he's not going to take Santi. I don't think he's going to take Santi off. Ay. What do we do? All right, let's see the frustration in the comments now. Mania out. Someone wants Mania going. It's okay. Fofana is trash. Him and Loftus-Cheek need to get off. I mean, I think the defensive line has really been garbage for now. But yeah, Fofana did not help. You probably think that Fofana should have been handling that, maybe. Robot Chill says, Robto Chill says, not this 2-2 nightmare again. I know. Can't handle this. We did it before. Okay, so he took Tomori off. So he's going to, so that's what I said. He's going to do a 4-3-3, then it makes sense. And I think that is what we're doing. We're going with a 4-3-3. It's going to be probably Gabbia and Pavlovic in the back. Tomori's off. Switch to a 4-man back line with Alexis on the right. Chukwueze plays up top as a right winger. Alexis could get on this. Someone says this team is just another version of Manchester United. I'm convinced. I don't know what it is. What is it with it? I don't know. I mean, it's not really something that I can say too much about. Yeah, their trajectory seems to be similar, but I don't even want to say Manchester United where they finished last season. It doesn't really matter. If you're not in the top 2, maybe 3, it's not good. So, Son says, as I said, defense is rubbish. Rubbish in game 1 for sure. This is rubbish. 2 goals conceded against this side. That is rubbish. When I went to watch the final game of the season, Pioli's final game of the season, Milan conceded 3 goals to Salernitana. So, you know, our defense has been garbage for a sweet amount of time by now. Joe says we always win 3-2. Joe's optimism is something that I want to inject into my veins. No creativity in the middle, Ancelotti says. Yeah, I mean, no creativity outside of Modrić, you got to say. But that's it. Loftus-Cheek. Everybody's getting pushed off so easily. Like, they're getting manhandled way too easily. And I'm talking about Loftus-Cheek, the strong man. K-Edit says, unless we sub those midfield bums, we won't win this game. Who are you going to take off? Loftus-Cheek and Fofana? I guess. I'm not going to fight that. Hasn't been enough creativity from those guys. And hasn't been enough defensive assistance from Fofana, at least. That's why he's thrown on Chukwueze, because you need that individual moment of brilliance now. You need that creative guy. Thomas says, Loftus-Cheek losing his man for the first goal. Fofana losing his man for the second goal. Never start those two ever again. I have to see the first goal again. But yeah, if that is Loftus-Cheek who was covering Baschirotto, then I mean, I guess it was a mistake of both the defense and the midfield, and you got to give credit where it's due. It was a good goal. It was a good goal. The first goal was a good one, and the second goal was maybe even a better one. So the problem is that you're not supposed to concede those chances against a side like Cremonese, but when they do pull it off, they pull it off. Michael says, how does our striker lose a ball in the final third? Yeah, that's the frustration. Well, not final third. I would say the first third. He's the one who lost the ball to Baschirotto. Another long season ahead, says Benny. Getting that feeling at least today. I'm getting that feeling too. Let's see how the games progress, though. Here we go. Chukwueze. Yeah, that's a foul. Cannot believe what's happening. Rishi's, I'm tired, man. Yeah. Same. Sun says, oh my God, as I said, defense is rubbish. It's rubbish today for sure. Samuel. Nice ball from Alexis. Ruben. Cross it in. Ruben. Nah, man, he's out. Ball's out. 70 minutes in. Need a miracle at this point. Not a miracle, but 2 goals would be pretty special if they can score them, but I don't know. I'm not getting that feeling where you feel like something's going to happen. Ricci is coming on now, but I'm not getting that feeling like, oh, you know what? Put your money on Milan right now. They're going to pull it off. I'm not getting that feeling. Gabbia. Yeah, that was bad defense from Gabbia too now. At least he gets the block in. Who all are coming on? Just Ricci and Yashari? I can't tell. Someone says, I have good luck scoring against Cremonese. They are famous for parking the bus. They play just like Allegri. How did we concede 2 to this? How did we concede 2 to this? Yeah. How did we? At the San Siro too. So bad. Unacceptable. Biggest issue for Milan has not been, Joe says, biggest issue for Milan has not been, thank you for the super chat again, Joe. Biggest issue has not been committing to pressing, either press or play for the counter. It creates too much space for opposition to pass. That's kind of what we saw maybe in the first goal. Yusuf. Modrić. Luka. Dude, Luka, you're our hope, man. Modrić to Chukwueze. Chukwueze, favor to your left. Shoot it. Oh my God, who's that? Jimenez wasn't ready. Christian with the ball. Ruben tried to get that header in. Bilal says we need Ricci and Yashari sub. I think they're coming on. Yeah, Milan really doesn't have an answer. That's what the commentator is saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you get that feeling like something's gonna happen. They're gonna pull it off. I think it does help a lot of the times. Maybe it's fake hope because last season we saw how things turned out. But sometimes when Leao is on the pitch, you do get that feeling like he's gonna pull something off, and not getting that feeling. He's not even here, so definitely not feeling very good right now. K-Edits makes a very good point. We should be undefeated our first 4 games on paper. But no, our midfield and defense is rubbish. We should be undefeated. No question about that. tough part is it's not looking good. It's not looking like something's going to happen right now. I think we need like an individual moment of brilliance from Chukwueze probably. Forces him into clearing the ball. But something needs to happen. Dude. Okay, Ricci and Yashari are coming on now. Someone says, have you seen MP3 NGU says, have you seen how Tomori was arguing with Loftus-Cheek a couple of times? Yes, I did point it out on the stream too. There were a couple of moments where I could see that, you know, Tomori's doing this. Like, why aren't you moving here? So I did see that part. Brody Ken says, who do you guys think that will win? Oh, who do you think will win? I don't want to say who I think is gonna win. I'm gonna wait it out for the next 15 minutes. Crosses in. She says, Cremonese is a newly promoted team, by the way. Yeah, exactly. So, unacceptable. Oh, come on. What did he do? Let's see what Yashari can do now. You know, this is his audition. Madhav is asking, can we still win this? Can we? I don't know. I have doubts. We can, yes. Will we? That's where the plot thickens. Bondo caught out there by Jimenez. You know what's funny is that in the first half, Estupinian and Pavlovic didn't play very well. And we're talking about how, you know, should have made that change. And I feel like we look worse now. After Stupinian's gone. Jimenez, 75 minutes in. So we got 14 minutes to go now. Sorry, 76 minutes in. We got 14 minutes to go now. So it's now or never time. Entering that territory. They're going to get killed for this. In the media. Oh my God. They're going to get killed for this. As they should. You can't lose 2-1 to a side that has just gotten promoted from Serie B. You can't. But they're going to get killed for this. They need a result. And not a 2-2. 2-2 is not acceptable either. Oh, Alexis, lovely work. Just use a teammate, man. We don't need you to do everything. Just come on, Alexis. Just keep going, keep playing. It's okay. They're trying to get under your skin. They're trying to waste time. You keep it going. You keep playing. Your focus needs to be on the game. Get those goals. Stop wasting time on this nonsense. Pavlovic. Who's that? Jimenez? Jimenez with the drive. Use a teammate, man. Use a teammate, man. Dude, Jimenez, what are you doing? Why are you picking up a yellow for that? What are you doing? What are you guys, kids here? You got a responsibility. Stop picking up a needless yellow for dissent. of all things. Just chill out. Son says, thank God Cushy realized our defense is rubbish. Hey, I never came out and said our defense is great. Just saying we got a new coach. Defense is still the same as last year. You're just hoping that the coach can get something better out of them. Doesn't look like it for the first game, but you can't judge a team from the game one either. If we won 3-0 and I was like, title, aren't you guys going to be killing me for that too? Like, Kush, it's too early to say things like that. Pavlovic. Gabia. Jimenez. Alex. Space, man. Space for Fofana. Pass the ball. Move it around. Ruben! Oh my God. Right off. Oof. Should have been a goal. I mean, that's what we need. Create more chances like that, but... Like, at the end of the day, Cremonese's actually played better football. You got to say it. They've taken their chances way better. I mean, it's a wonder goal that they scored, and I think the second goal did kill off a lot of Milan's spirit because the way that they came into the first 10 minutes of the second half, you could see that intensity. But that second goal and the way that he scored it too with the scissor kick, it really took that energy out of Milan, but you can't let that energy get out of you. Your intensity has to maintain. And with Modrić now coming off, oh, fuck. Come on, I don't swear that much, but get up, man. Dude, I fucking can't stand this nonsense about the injury shit. Keep going, keep playing. Who cares? He cramped his leg, man. Oh, stop. What are we stopping the game for this for? What are we doing? We scored the first goal because of the same method too. Just score the goal. Yashadi. Pavlovic. You got to take your chances, man. Player of the match is Modrić? Why? Christian Pulisic, please, man. Alexis. Yashari to Chukwueze. Samuel. Chukwueze. Christian. Alexis to no one. Come on, run. Ruben. Loftus Cheek. To Alexis. That's a foul for sure. Someone's saying the season is done from game one. Relax, guys. But yeah, it's not good. It's a bad game for sure. The season is done in game one. Alexis. Gabia. Yeshadi. Pavlovic. Terrible ball. Yashadi with a stupid foul. That's not a foul, man. Come on, ref. Who's this clown ref? We're missing Leao. Let's say it. Let's say what we have to say. In a situation like this, we're missing Leao. But what best could he do? Get one goal? It's still another 2-2 against a garbage side. But I can't tell anymore who the garbage side is, them or us. Emmanuel says, why'd they sub Modrić, man? Because, dude, he's old. We cannot be relying on a 40-year-old. We've got to do a better job of our chances. And okay, here we go. Yashari. Oof. Big ball to Chukwueze. Great control from Samuel. Samuel, go. Hurry up, man. Yeah, Chad, you're right. Leao won't stop the goals. That's the biggest problem. That's why I said in a situation like this, in a 1-2, when you've already conceded the goals, that's where Leao is missed. But yeah, I mean, you need defense. Yashari. Gabia. Alexis. To Ruben. To Chukwueze. Alexis to Yashari. Christian to Pavlovic. Don't try to convince me with a 2-2. I need a 3-2. Oh my god, someone completely unmarked. Something, guys. Something, give me something. Someone says 2-2. I don't want a 2-2. I'd rather they lose. Lose and fix things. Lose and face reality than give me some nonsense 2-2 that I have to live with. I get nothing. There's no growth that comes from 2-2. Ruben. Someone. Christian. I'm sure it's another foul. Here we go. Pavlovic. Straina. I don't think Cremonese. He's saying Cremonese has never beaten Milan. And they might do it in the first game of the Campionato. So, here we go. There's a first. Oh my god, Santi Jimenez pulling a dummy for nobody, for their defenders. Come on, man. Yashari. Ruben. Oh, that's a foul. The problem is we don't even have Leao for like a month now. So you need this team to work. But at home against a recently promoted side, if you're going to be down 2-1 in the 88th minute, I don't even care that much what kind of result you give me. Sure, 3-2 will make it much better, but you shouldn't be in this situation. This is not good. Period. Not good enough from anybody. What is Pulisic going to do? Is he actually going to take a crack at this? Or is he going to cross this in? Pulisic. Alexis. Pavlovic almost had that one. Baskirotto is probably the man of the match. Someone was saying Modrić is man of the match. No, it's Baskirotto. Scored the first goal, helped create the second one, has been solid defensively. Pulisic. Alexis. Chukwueze's come on to make an impact, but he hasn't really done anything. Scores a goal now, imagine. Yashari. What are you doing, Samuel? Yeah, there's no 3-2 comeback. No. There's no way. There's no way. Now it's just 2-2. That's about it. Someone is saying, Jerry fans that laughed at the legend Maldini, eat your words now. Bro, those people have been eating their words for like 2 seasons now. It's not Cremonese result. It's last season Parma result, the season before that. Inter winning their 20th title. You know what the funniest part is? That before the season started, obviously in a lot of previews, I didn't actually get the time to do a preview this time, but a lot of people in their previews were talking about how, you know, Milan are one of the favorites. The fact they're going to fall so hard from this one is going to be embarrassing. Chukwueze. My God, Chukwueze, what are you doing? What kind of pass even is that? Sriracha Ketchup said, did it feel good buying that shirt and giving Redbird money? What? You guys have interesting logic. Yeah, let's not buy a shirt because it might make someone money that would then spend it on the club. Come on, guys. Don't be that cynical. Life is very difficult for people who are always complaining. Chukwueze. Samuel. Yeah, that's a how's that not a foul? Just keep it going. Keep the game going. We don't have time to fight. Yashari. They've just not looked like any type of no fluidity to any of their attacks. None. They've just looked almost as confused as they used to look last season. Samuel to Fofana. Yashari tried to take a shot. Yashari gets on the ball. That's off of him. That's a Milan ball. Rip Chop says, I can't believe I got myself excited for this season. Calm down. It's game 1, but it's not a good start. That's for sure. It's a horrible start. It's not a good start. It's a disastrous start. That's what it is. I just don't understand the fans that rejoice in this result. You're not fans. You're phonies. How do you enjoy Milan losing? Some people actually enjoy it in the comments. I can already notice. It's like, how do you guys like your own team losing? Like, how negative do you have to be in your life to enjoy your own team losing? Just so you can get at the owners. Alexis, come on, score, man. Ruben, from there you got to score. Jimenez, Pulisic to Alexis. Alexis, come on, baby. Come on, give me something. Give me a draw at this point. I think a draw Milan will probably still pull off, possibly. Obviously, a win is impossible. Chukwueze, get up. Get up. Don't let them touch the ball. Get up. Because there's still a minute and a half to go, so that could happen. But unlikely. Straina. All right, Mike, step up for this corner kick. Doesn't matter, man. Like, I can't handle a 2-2 in this. Even Modrić is like sitting there like, where the hell did I get? Where did I show up? Where did I end up signing? His team is losing to a Serie B side, recent promoted side. Pulisic with the corner kick. Christian. Oh, Alexis. Oh my God. Let's see what Jimenez did there. Oh, there's another corner kick. What did Jimenez do there? Chukwueze. Pulisic. Can Bondo actually score against Milan? Someone said 3-1 prediction. Fofana. That's the end of the game. That's it. That's the end. Oh my God. I don't even know what I can say about this. What do we say about this? That is the ultimate deflator for the club, for the team. Ultimate deflator. When you start a new season at the San Siro against a recently promoted side, bringing in the most winningest coach in the league's history, bringing in the kind of names that you've signed on, spending so much money and time on the transfer window, and to end up in a situation where Richie's even left on the bench. I'm honestly in shock. I gotta be honest. I am absolutely stunned. I wouldn't have even done this live stream, man, if I felt like today's result is gonna go bad and I'm with my family. Like, I'm taking time away from them for this shit. This is garbage. This is absolute garbage. As I said, I don't care for a 2-2. I don't need a 2-2. You face reality. You face the 2-1. You eat that up. You own it. That's who you are at this point in time. I don't know what this team is going to be like this season. I don't know if the season's going to go great. I don't know if they're going to be fighting for the Scudetto or barely scraping to fight for a top 4 place. I don't know how the season's going to go. I have not made a predictions video for the season. If I had to make a predictions video for the season, I would have said way better than what they've shown me today. That's for sure. I know there are a lot of people who, no matter what Milan does, they have an issue with a different side of the club, not the players, not the coach, but the ownership and the management. So for them, either way, it doesn't really matter what happens. They're always going to complain. But for me, I try to be a little bit more on the not necessarily the reasonable side, but try to be as balanced as possible. Don't necessarily go after somebody. Just try and, look at what you see in front of you. And yeah, I do think that. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go after specific people in the comments. So I'm going to ignore that. But some people, no matter what the result is, even Milan could have won today, they would still bitch, moan, complain. That's their life. That's who they are. That's their MO. My MO is a little bit different. I try to see something and I say something. I don't see something good but find bad in it unless there's something that they didn't play well in. That's why I said, even if Milan would have pulled off a 3-2 today, this is not a good game. The result is irrelevant to the performance. The performance would have been bad irrespective. Maybe they would have pulled off something last minute, but it's still bad that you're trailing against Cremonese 2-1 in the 88th minute. That's when I talked about it. But the fact that you ended up losing the game against a recently promoted side, playing at the San Siro, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And obviously, nothing's going to... What do you think is going to happen? Some people. What do you think is going to... You think they're going to fire the coach? No. You think they're going to change the squad dramatically suddenly in the last 2 weeks of the Mercato? No. This is going to be it. So for the rest of this season, minus a few changes, this is what we're going to be having to work with. So we need this to work. Because if this doesn't work, I think that would be the ultimate disaster. And I think that's going to lead to wholesale changes right at the top, in my opinion. If this season turns into a disaster, I think wholesale changes will be made from the top. Obviously, I don't think some of the things that people want to happen are going to happen, but this is going to be a problem for them. Because, sorry, hold on. My bad, guys. Sorry, I got to fix this. Missing out on champions. I don't even right now. I don't even care about how the season's gonna go. I don't really care to talk about top four or not, Scudetto or not. I'll embarrass myself talking about a Scudetto after a performance like this. But I don't even care about top four or first place or not. I care about how they played today, and obviously how they played today is a byproduct of what kind of a squad they have. Do I think this is a squad that is so bad that they should be losing against Cremonese in an opening match of the season at home? No, I don't. I think this squad has lost its ability to play with itself. I don't think this is a bad team. I don't think this is a team that is bad enough to lose against Cremonese. But they're still managing to do it time and time again. They did it against Parma last season. They did it against Torino, I think, in the opening game last season. They did it again at the conclusion of the season to finish in 8th place. They did it even the season before that, losing against Sassuolo, 5-2 at the San Siro? This team has found ways to not play to its level. And that's my frustration. Because this squad is not bad enough that they should be losing against a newly promoted side. They just don't know how to freaking play with each other properly. And that's where you need the right coach. And I think the right coach... let me rephrase that. I think a good coach has come in. I think a coach that gives you hope has come in. A coach that possibly provides you with some stability has come in. The problem is, it still didn't translate today. And that's the frustration. That's the anger. Some people want you to say that, all these players should be removed. All the management should be changed. The ownership should be changed. That's not happening. I don't know why I'm going to turn this space into somewhere where I'm going to complain every single day about. I look at things from a place of reality, not from a place of drama. And the reality is that this ownership is here and they're not going anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, the kind of commitments that they're making. So now we have to move on from their presence here and actually look at what is being created by them. That's what I'm going to criticize. What I'm going to criticize is the byproduct of what is being created. And what is being created, I don't even know what to say about it. And what I mean when I say I don't know what to say about it is I actually don't know what to say about this. Because to me, this team isn't bad enough to lose against Cremonese. They're just not a team that is that bad. But it's not working. It's not working. And at least it didn't work today. And I don't know what to say to you guys. I'm actually going to have to really see what your reasonings are in the comments. I'm going to want to see what you guys have to say because I don't know what to say about this team. The worst thing is you're playing so bad. I'm going to just take this comment. You would play probably... Hold on, sorry. The worst thing is you're playing so bad that you would probably make changes to then realize you do not have anything good on the bench. Again, man, it's not a bad bench. It's not a bad bench. You got Ricci. I don't know how Yashari's going to be. Yashari's still, the jury's out on him. We saw what happened with Charles de Ketelaere. Let's see what happens with Yashari. But you got decent players on your bench too. You don't have any proper players from a center back perspective. You don't have. I don't think you have top level defenders here. I think De Winter is better than what some people are saying, but Etekame, and I don't know how he's gonna be. But yeah. AJ says, a good coach has come in, but it didn't translate. What are you trying to say, bro? Didn't translate into a result today. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Sumitra AC Milan says, why not play Yashari, Ricci, and Modrić? I don't know. For whatever reason, I think this coach believes, that Loftus-Cheek is an integral part to his team. I don't know. I can kind of understand what he's trying to say when he says that, because Loftus-Cheek does have certain assets that you don't see in a lot of players in the squad. But if it's not going to translate on the pitch, if it's not going to give you the results, then even if it's a good quality player, they're going to have to go. You know, look at what, that might be a bad example, but arguably one of the better players in the game, one of the best players in the game till 2 seasons ago, Kylian Mbappe, he leaves, and then PSG wins their top title. So that doesn't mean that that player is bad. It just means that someone's just not fitting somewhere. So I'm saying this in respect to your point about putting Loftus-Cheek off, is that if Loftus-Cheek is the player that the coach believes can perform, but he actually doesn't perform on the pitch, then I guess you got to make the change. But sure, yeah, play Yashari, Modrić, and Ricci. That's fine too. I don't know if that would have been any different, because it's the defense that's the bigger problem. Maybe, yeah, Ricci and Yashari would have offered a little bit more defensively, because let me say this. Fofana seems to me like one of the biggest pieces that I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this guy. There are some reports about Al Ahly from the Saudi League coming in wanting to sign him. I don't know if it's a good idea to just sell him and actually go after a true center defensive midfielder, like another one, because clearly your defense is bad. So you need that line in front of them, because your back three are not doing what they need to do. And they both were out of position today. Somebody, I think, pointed it out in the comments that on the first goal, it was Loftus-Cheek, who may have been out of position. I got to see the replay again for that one. And on the second goal, Fofana. And Fofana, I saw where that scissor kick came from, and I saw that Fofana was not in the right position. Brian says, I didn't even watch the game, but I know one thing. Pavlovic again showed why he's the worst ever center back to play for AC Milan. I don't know, man. I want to turn the place into an echo chamber because you commented and say, yeah, I agree. I don't think he's that bad, but this is not good. Because the point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter what I think about these players. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in that scoreline right on the bottom of the screen. That's what matters. I can think that Ricci's a good signing, or Loftus-Cheek can play in Allegri's system, or Allegri has a defense-focused system that then is going to play, on the counter-attack. That scoreline shuts up anything that we have to say about the whole thing. That scoreline means something didn't work. You have to go back to the drawing board. But are you going to actually get the right results? Can we really be that dependent on Leao? Do we really think Leao would have changed something today? Maybe he would have helped out when the scoreline was 1-2, but the scoreline should have never gone down to 1-2. Somebody said it, right? He couldn't have scored those. He couldn't have stopped those 2 goals, and that's the problem. You keep conceding freaking goals. No matter what, you keep conceding goals. It has been 4 goddamn coaches now. It's Pioli you conceded goals under. You conceded goals under Fonseca. You conceded goals under Conceição. And now you're conceding, in the first game, you conceded 2 goals against a newly promoted side. At home. He says, what if Milan was relegated? Honestly, man, I don't know what to say. Antilid Kiri says, this management will never win. Hey, as I said, proof is in the pudding. They haven't won it yet. So never, I don't know. I'm not Nostradamus, so I don't know how to predict the future. But what I see right now, it's not showing any signs that there's going to be a revolutionary change. they're signing players. There's definitely a lot of chopping and changing. You know, the coaches are changing, the players are being sold, the players are being brought. But I don't know. Nothing shows me right now that somehow this is dramatically going to change. Yeah. Chibueze says, you guys should start going to the doctor on time, guys. This team will kill all of you. Honestly, yeah, probably will. Definitely is going to cause issues to the health. Sebastian says Seti B is this management's goal. Dude, you know, the crazy part is, like, I'm laughing and stuff, but it's painful to watch. Painful to watch. And I don't even know what to say in the stream. I mean, you guys let me know what you feel, but I'm honestly very surprised by how little they looked different from last season. That's what surprised me the most. And again, this is game one. I'm not gonna overreact, but I understand when people get frustrated, because for us, this is not 2025-26 at this point in time. For a lot of fans, this is a continuation of the last season and a half. That's the problem. It's the second half of Pioli's last season. It's all of last season, and it's now a new season. But now it is not a new season for a lot of people. It's a continuation of what has been happening for 1.5 years. It's all jumbled into one season, because the problems are the same. The mistakes are the same. The issues are coming from the same freaking wings. The same damn crosses are getting you. The same defenders are having issues. And the same attack is not delivering. So to people, this is not a new season. It's still this same old, same old. And I think that's where everybody's getting exhausted. And yeah, I feel that way too, because unacceptable to lose 2-1 against a side that just got promoted, man. Unacceptable. Which player should we be worried about after game one? Hank Hill asks. I don't know, man. Which player to be worried about? I'll just try and humor you, because I'm so frustrated. I don't even know what to say. Which player to be concerned about? I think I'm a little bit worried about Estupiñán and what his impact's going to be. He's a new player, so we're going to have to wait to see. But I think that's the one that probably concerned me more. And I guess Pavlovic, partly. He did score the goal. I don't know if that's really worth much. He's a defender. He's not supposed to. That's the point, right? The defenders are messing up, and then the goal is being scored by the defenders. So the attackers are obviously clearly messing up too. So I don't even know what Jimenez's future is like. Yeah, it was. Leao says, to be honest, Cremonese was strong today. Yeah, they were, but they're not supposed to be stronger than us at home on a opening night. They had nothing to lose, and they played like it. That second goal, right? That scissor kick to score that goal, it shows you they had nothing to lose. That's the attitude of somebody who's like, I'm just going to go for it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's the attitude of somebody who has nothing to lose. People who have something to lose are careful, concerned, being tried to be too perfect. And I think they had nothing to lose, and they showed it. And they didn't lose. Komodo says, I correct myself, Modrić and Salamakers were the only ones doing anything. Yeah, Modrić was the only player that actually looked like he was doing something. Modrić, man, he's 40 years old. He's 40 years old. He's the guy who looked the best today. What does that say about the rest? He's 40 years old. He's not supposed to be your best player. Phenom says, damn, guys, we will be fine. It's just game one. We're still a good team. We just have to get used to playing with each other. Yeah. I mean, do I think this is a good team? As I said already in this, post-match talk, yeah, I don't think this team is bad enough to lose to Cremonese, but if it doesn't actually happen on the field for you, it doesn't really matter what I think or what anybody feels about, what the scouting report on Yashari is irrelevant if it's not going to happen on the field. It has to translate on the pitch. If it doesn't translate on the pitch, then your stats, your awards that you've won in the past, how good you are, how good you pass is irrelevant. Look at Modrić, right? He's 40 years old, oldest man on the squad, nearing retirement, and he played the best. So you would think that somebody who has a good scouting report then ends up playing bad, but a player that you don't have a lot of hope. Well, you have hope from Modrić per se, but you have question marks about his age. But then he's the one who's actually performing. So it doesn't really matter, as to what we think as to how good these guys are. We have to see it happen there, and it just didn't happen there. There's about 350 of you guys here. I'm not even going to ask you to like this video, man. You want to do it, do it. How can you like this game, this result? There's been about 15,000 people who've watched this video, but this is just like, it almost feels like it's, one of those, what do you call those? The young people call them crash outs. I think you guys are waiting for me to crash out. I'm not going to crash out because I got to be mature, but I'm extremely frustrated. Joel asks, Kush, will you continue live streaming the rest of the season? You should be sponsored by Brave Browser. I don't know what that is, but yeah, probably I will here and there. But, I'll talk about the future of the channel, not today. It's not the right day to talk about it. Today we freaking lost against Cremonese. So I don't even want to get into that. But yes, I'm hoping I will be doing a few more, definitely a lot more live streams this year. Guest Nado says, I've watched almost every Modrić game for Madrid last season. He's for sure meant to be your best player. He's still one of the best in the world. Well, that's good to know, man. I wouldn't be able to say the same thing that I watched every game of his, but what I saw today from him looked like he was the best player on the field. Kush, Chibueze says, Kush, look at the back. I'm afraid this team, match day 1, for the love of Christ, Jesus, you're remembering everybody today. Kush, what I see on this team on match day 10 will be 12. Dude, I don't fully understand what that means. Feels like a riddle. But hold on. Okay, let's see what Lab Girl has. Lab Girl, oh my God, this guy's always concerns me when he gets in the comments. Lab Girl as a day 1 guy. He's like, I think Lab Girl has been at the channel since the day I started it. Okay, let's see what he says. It's always great, always positive. Get used to playing with each other. You got Okay, you guys have incredible coping mechanisms. Redbird has created a fan base full of excuses. If you lose, you accept it. Don't be a clown. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly my point. That is what we're saying. It doesn't matter how good these players are. You lost today. That is exactly what the whole stream has been about. Man, you got to dub it into the language you understand. But that is the point. It doesn't matter how good players are, if they've played with each other or not. That's what I'm saying. Modrić is the one who's actually performing. The one you'd expect would be the elder statesman who's going to be a little bit more in the periphery, helping out, but it's the younger guys who are leading the game. Those guys are not. This guy is. So irrelevant of how good or bad a player is or how good or bad your team has been playing with each other, it has to show up in the first game of the season. They've been together for a while. It's not like this is like a bunch of new players. I think this entire squad has been assembled for multiple friendlies now. Which player is the newest recruit? I can't think of any guy from today's starting lineup who's a new recruit. So they've played with each other enough to be able to actually get a result against a Serie B recent promoted side. I don't even care if any of these guys are new. You give me the entire squad from last season, they should be pulling off the right result against a newly promoted side. I know it's frustrating. I know I don't want to lose it completely. It's game 1. It's day 1. Let's see how the season actually unfolds. But you got to give people some hope that something has changed. But everything that we saw go wrong today, we've seen go wrong in the past. And everything that we saw go wrong in the defense, we've seen it happen that way in the past. And everything that didn't work out in attack today, we've seen exactly unfold the same way. And that's why it keeps you in this perpetual cycle of frustration and for some people hate, for some people just, they just start to lose interest. They're like, screw it, man. I don't want to watch the next Milan game. That's what it's pulling people into, is because nothing's changing. It's like suddenly if your attack starts delivering and you start scoring a bunch of goals, you're conceding goals too, but look, man, we're scoring goals. Now fans start to feel like, okay, you know what? Something's evolving. You watch a 0-0 scoreline, but you see Cremonese constantly hit you in attack and your defense is solid, but you still don't pick up a goal. You're like, okay, you know what? At least our defense is shaping up a little bit better. But when you watch the exact goddamn game that you watched last season, once again to start off a new season, it leaves you in a state of frustration. It leaves you in a state of anger, which obviously I can see in the comments from a lot of you. And I get it. I got no excuses. I got nobody to defend. That's not how I operate. What I do is I see and I say. And what I saw today is unacceptable. Kyle Domek, I appreciate the super chat, my friend. You're very kind. Did you just get married? If you did, congratulations, Kyle. Should Allegri switch to a 4-3-3? They kind of played a 4-3-3, and nothing really happened. I think once Chukwueze was brought on and Tomori went off, to me, it felt like they were playing a 4-3-3 with Pavlovic and Gabbia in the back, Alexis on the right, Jimenez on the left, and then the three men in the midfield with Modrić, Loftus-Cheek, and Fofana. And up front, it was Jimenez, Pulisic, and Chukwueze. Nothing happened. Nothing changed. So I don't know, Kyle. I don't know if we have any answers for that. I think at the end of the day, you reach a certain point where you have to accept something. And I think I'll do it for another 3-4 minutes with you guys. I think at a certain point in time, you do have to accept something. And what you have to accept is that we're now down to coach number 4. From Pioli to Conceição, or to Fonseca, Conceição to Allegri now. Now you got to start, not now, but you can only start looking at the personnel now. You can only start looking at, what did Pavlovic do? What did Tomori do? What did Gabbia do? We can't keep going after the coach anymore. And if these pieces are not good enough, then you're going to have to sign a center back. Which either way they have to. But I don't know. We let go of Tau. I don't want anybody. I'm thankful that nobody in the comments has mentioned Tau and been like, oh, if he was there, something would have been different. I think it would have been the exact same outcome. But yeah, Mustafa says, this game has just proved that we urgently need a striker, someone that can do something with the crosses for FFS. Yeah, but did we even really deliver a lot of crosses? Like, did Jimenez even, were there a lot of clear-cut chances for Milan? I don't want to start looking up the XG and all that. I don't want to spend time for today's game doing all that. But to my eyes, we were pretty toothless. There was a window from minute number 45 to about 53 to 55 where it looked like, boom, there we go. That's the team we're waiting for. That's the goal-scoring team. But I don't think I saw that at any point in time. So, hold on a second. Just one sec. All right. I got my family that's coming back too, so I'm going to start closing down the live stream now, guys. I don't even know. Really don't know what to say at this point in time. I am in a bit of shock, I got to be honest. Let's see if there's any other comments that I can pick up for now. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I don't see any. It's just a lot of hate and a lot of anger in the comments, which I actually understand. Phenom says midfield should be Yashari, Ricci, and Fofana. Fofana did not give me anything to make him actually start the next game. And I know he's probably going to, but he never really gave me anything that made me believe that that's the answer today. Someone says, I might have to quit supporting this team to be mentally stable at this point. I get it. And there are a lot of people who are probably going to have that feeling. And that is the concerning part, is that people will stop caring. That's what I'm saying. Indifference is way worse than hate or like, right? It's when people start becoming indifferent to you, that's when your stock really starts to go down. If people like you or people hate you, at least they're watching you. But when people are like, you know what, I just don't care to watch a game, that's when they start losing truly. Okay, Brian says, washer? Yeah, go. Yeah, go ahead. Kush, I'm happy you're back, though, man. I'm not confident that Allegri will turn it around within 3 games. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait to see, to be honest. Like, did any of you guys actually believe, I'm genuinely curious about this, did you at all think that it was possible that today they're going to lose against Cremonese at home, first game of the season? Did you truly believe that they're going to lose? Like, I did not for even a second. That did not cross my mind. For me, it was like, okay, are we going to win it this way, this style? How will we stylistically play? It was more a focus around that. It was never a thought that, oh, you know what? They're probably going to drop points. Anyone want to close the door? Someone says, to be fair, 13 shots in 20 to 30 minutes is ridiculous. The midfield was clearly not the fault here. I get your point, but it is your second last line of defense, and it feels like you get nothing from the midfield from a defensive standpoint. You really don't. And we haven't gotten, and you know what? That's the problem, right? That's what I'm saying. It's fused together the past few seasons. We've seen so much happening through the midfield that hasn't worked, that even today, in a match like today, when they lose, you still put that blame on them because we're so used to them also not delivering. So I think that also comes partly from that. Sun says, Kush, chill. I'm in the same boat. Oh my God, lost. Yeah, I know. Until it says, we had a good defense and offense with Maldini. Yeah, I mean, we had a great team. Period. We won a title. So yeah, we did. Let's not forget that the final season with Paulo there, we did finish in 5th place. And we did have a scoreline of 5-2 against Sassuolo. So I'm really not sure if we can say we had a good defense. I think our defense had started to fall apart in I was putting it more on Pioli, to be honest, than Maldini. Because Maldini he's a god of defense. So he's obviously going to be able to make the picks that you have to. But for me, it was more about the fact that under Pioli, I felt like the defense wasn't performing well. But now I feel like it's irrelevant because Pioli's come and gone, Fonseca come and gone, Conceição come and gone, Allegri's here. It's the same thing still. So that issue is still there. And yeah, I mean, we had a great team under Paulo, and slowly it's not giving the results because we're getting the results. But we did finish in 5th place. We did have a player like Origi who wasn't really doing much in that final season with Paulo here. We did have a defense that was conceding goals left, right, and center. As I said, 5-2 against Sassuolo at the San Siro after winning a title. We did finish in 5th place, right? So that also happened. But we had a good team, undeniably. Someone says we had 24 shots. Do we have 24 shots? Sorry, I lost that comment. Someone said we had 24 shots. I'm just going to leave it here. Totti Brother says, hit like and subscribe. Forza Milan, Forza Kush and Milan. Man, right now let's just focus on Milan, not me. But all right, we've been doing this for about 2.5 hours. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. It is what it is. I'll probably make a video about it at some point. For now, I'm going to head out. But I appreciate you guys watching. As always,